Hello, everybody. This is Catholic Dad, episode number 239. This is a message to Donald Trump, what he should do with Jeffrey Epstein trial. So just to fill everybody in, Jeffrey Epstein's the dude that was probably working for the deep state, probably working for foreign intelligence, MI5, MI6, you name it, CIA. And he was entrapping lots of very rich, powerful people with blackmailable information on his crazy island in the Caribbean, and also in his mansion in New York and his mansions in New Mexico. And he would have these wild parties with lots of bedrooms, lots of alcohol, and lots of women. Some of them were underage, and then he'd get videos on these people. And these rich, powerful people were actually blackmailable by the deep state. Well, Epstein was arrested probably about a month ago now. He tried to commit suicide one time, and then he did commit suicide a second time. It actually came out today that apparently somebody heard a bunch of screaming from Epstein's jail cell while he was committing suicide. I don't know how a man that's committing suicide screams and yells when he's strangling himself, but that doesn't make any sense. But nonetheless, Jeffrey Epstein's dead. Nobody knows why. Nobody has video on it, and I think they're probably going to try to get away with it. Here's the deal now. Donald Trump is the President of the United States. He's the head of the Department of Justice. The Department of Justice has 10,000 pictures they seized the day they arrested Jeffrey Epstein of a whole bunch of bad behavior. The Department of Justice knows what's in these pictures, and probably if the Department of Justice is as infiltrated with the deep state as is suspected, probably a lot of people outside of the Department of Justice knows who's in the pictures and who can now be blackmailable by Donald Trump and the Department of Justice. And so, but nonetheless, it is possible that the Department of Justice is completely whole and didn't leak all this information to people, and that there's now 10,000 pictures of people in the horrible pictures. Who knows what's in the pictures that the Department of Justice has in their hands. So here's some advice to Donald Trump. Now, I think Donald Trump is probably the master at strategizing. I mean, he did decide on a whim to become president of the United States of America, and he did it. So he's probably pretty good at figuring this stuff out. But I want to give him some advice because I've been thinking about this for a little bit. The Department of Justice, if they have pictures, and it's only if they have pictures of people with doing illegal activities, nefarious activities with underage girls, which I suspect they probably do. But if they have these pictures, the Department of Justice should announce this to the world and say, we have the pictures of 50 or 100 prominent people in the world with doing illegal activities with underage girls. And we're not going to tell you who they are. But here's the deal. We're going to start arresting somebody every day or every week from here on out. And we'll go full court press against the law, or with the law, force the law against them. We're going to say, hey, listen, we're going to try you maximum penalty against the law. So maximum penalty against the law with, doing horrible actions of the 6th and 9th commandment with somebody underage, that's a problem. You go to jail for a long time. If you're a politician and you were doing that and you knew you were being blackmailed, well, now we're talking about espionage and sedition, and that's the death penalty. And so we're going to go full court press against you. Unless, of course, you come to the Department of Justice and you quietly turn yourself in and you promise to quietly resign from government, quietly, and disappear and never receives the reins of power ever again, and you sign an affidavit, which will be held in 20 locked vaults around the globe, that you will never try to gain power again in the reins of government. Because the problem is, there's a lot of people in the U.S. government, a lot of people in foreign governments, a lot of people all over the world that are now blackmailable, and they're in positions of power, meaning that the U.S. government doesn't work for the people they're working for right now. They're actually working for the people that have blackmailable information. And Donald Trump could say, and we will pardon you forever. If you come turn yourself in, we will pardon you as long as you promise to leave your position of authority turn yourself in. We'll quietly get you out of government, and you can go live your life successfully someplace else in some other industry, as long as you don't deal with government contracting in the future, as long as you don't deal with any kind of other governmental position. And I mean, this might rub people the wrong way, but the problem is they may have pictures of 50 prominent people with girls, but there may be 600 or 700. And so if you start doing this and start every week releasing somebody and then going full force of law against them, perhaps even gaining the death penalty against them for the most egregious cases of sedition and espionage, that people will start turning themselves in, not knowing if you have pictures on them. And you will start draining the swamp that way. People will drain the swamp themselves, knowing full well that they can actually disappear from government, they can respectfully resign, and oh, by the way, they can sign an affidavit saying they'll never go into government ever again. I know this doesn't sound like justice, but the problem is, what is justice? You go full court press against 3 or 4 of these people, and then the deep state comes down on you, and suddenly there's like 500 left that there's no justice for. That's not justice. Justice is getting the American government and the system of power back in the hands of the people that deserve power. It's not the people that are blackmailable. These people need to get out of government and they need to disappear. And so this is just a thought the Catholic Dad has for Donald Trump. I know he's a great developer of strategy, and I know he can actually do this better than I can. And he probably has a million scenarios he's playing out in his head. But just a thought. And if this gets to him, that'd be really cool. If it doesn't get to him, that's okay too, because I'm sure he's already thought about it. Give all the people involved in the Epstein trial a way out where they can be pardoned and disappear from positions of power. If you do that, I bet you a whole bunch of people will take the bait and they'll start going. And so this is Catholic Dad making you think about it. Please like or subscribe, get the Mass, and pray the Daily Rosary. God bless you all.